Now, guys, like I said earlier, we are going to have a speaker come up and share with us a few words of wisdom. His name is Mr. Dale Hanson. He ate lunch with us right here. A little bit about Mr. Hanson. He is the weeknight sports anchor during the 6 and 10 p.m. newscast on WFAA. He is the host of the Dale Hanson Sports Special, which airs Sunday nights immediately following the News 8 update at 10 o'clock. In 1987, Dale was honored with the George Foster Peabody Award for Distinguished Journalism along with the DuPont Columbia Award. Hanson has received numerous distinctions, including Sportscaster of the Year by the Associated Press, Texas Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sportscaster and Sports Writers Association, Best Sportscaster by the United Press International and the Dallas Press Club, and has been named Television Personality of the Year by the American Women in Radio and Television. Now, Dale began his career as a radio DJ in Newton, Iowa. This was eventually followed by a job as a sports reporter at KMTV in Omaha, Nebraska. He won the Iowa Associated Press Award for Best Investigative Reporter in 1976, and his first job in Dallas was with KDFW TV Channel 4, and he has joined WFA TV in 1983. Now, with all of that being said, let's welcome him one more time to the stage, Mr. Dale Hanson.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is always such an awkward time for me. I mean, every time I go out to speak someplace, they'll have like the master of ceremonies or the club president, or in this case, the coach will get up and, introduce a few people, tell a few funny stories. They'll introduce me. They tell a few more funny stories, and everybody's laughing and fired up and having a great time. And then by the time I get up to talk, it's almost impossible to follow something like that. And thank goodness that's not a problem today, Coach, and I appreciate it very much. I think I can handle it from here without too much trouble. Did you see what happened to me when we came in today? Let's be honest about this. I didn't get to looking like this by skipping on meals. They bring me the little box lunch with the two little sandwiches about this big. I looked at the young lady and I said, "Excuse me, but would you mind grabbing me another box lunch?" She actually looks at me and said, "That's all you get." I said, "Now, I don't really like doing this. I promise you I don't." But I looked at her and I said, "Well, maybe you don't know who I am." She said, "Well, who are you?" And I said, I'm Dale Hanson from Channel 8, and I'm the keynote luncheon speaker, and I would like another box lunch. She looked at me and said, "Well, maybe you don't know who I am." And I said, "Well, who are you?" She said, "I'm the person in charge of serving your table, so sit your fat butt down, that's all you get." So I'm looking for a McDonald's on my way back. Does anybody know where they're close to it? Oh, Chris, before I forget, stand up here, Chris. Take the cap off. Ladies and gentlemen. The winner of our Justin Bieber look-alike contest. Such a nice look. We like swimming through the pools and we go, "Shark! Shark!" I'm saying, this is the craziest thing. This young lady right over here, she's telling me she has to shave her arms. Shave her arms to get ready for this big meet. And then I look over, where'd Ashton go? Where's Ashton at? What happened to you? My wife's horse has got less hair on it. She's shaving her arms and you got like 9 pounds of hair hanging up there. You jump in the pool and sink, for goodness sake. This is the most amazing thing. This young lady's mother sent me an email about a month or so ago asking me to speak today. And then says to me, "Dale, LD Bell's colors are blue and white. Trinity is black and red. Please don't wear any colors that would signify one of the schools." Blue and white, red and black, that's just about all I've got. So this is not to design that I have the favorites of anybody, but this is pretty much all I've got. And then she says to me, and this is the strangest thing, she said, "Dale, we need somebody. We got our big district meet coming up. We need somebody who can talk about setting goals. People who can talk about achieving those goals. People who can set a standard to strive for greatness. People who can talk about the value of sportsmanship and competition. And people who can achieve all of that with class and style and dignity. And Dale, we think you're just the guy to talk about that. And I wrote her back and I said, what do I know about any of that stuff? I covered the Dallas Cowboys for a living. Well, I mean, before I crawl up in my soapbox here a little bit, which I may have a tendency to do sometimes, let me set this one record straight. If you learn nothing else today, if you hear nothing else that I say today, I do hope you'll understand this. A lot of people think that I make jokes about Jerry Jones because I'm bitter about being fired from the Cowboys radio broadcast a few years ago. I mean, people think I'm always making fun of Jerry. I'm always making some smart-aleck remark about Jerry Jones because I'm bitter about being fired from the Cowboys radio broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not make jokes about Jerry Jones because I'm bitter. I do not make fun of Jerry Jones because I'm bitter. I make jokes about Jerry Jones because I just think he's one goofy human being. I'm not afraid. Thank you, Ashton. I'm not afraid. I mean, think about this. Jerry Jones prides himself on being the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. I promise you this is true. A lot of this stuff I just got to make it up as I go along. But I promise you this is true. Jerry Jones, while he is indeed the owner, he's also the general manager, and he wants guys like me to refer to him as the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. He said, Dale, I want you to call me the general manager so that people will know I'm a football guy. I make football decisions. I'm involved in the signing of the free agents. I'm involved in the draft pick selections. I hire and I fire the coaches because I'm involved in every aspect of the football operation because I am a football guy, Dale. I am a football guy, and I would prefer that you refer to me as the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys so that people will know I am a football guy. I'm interviewing Jerry Jones live on my Sunday night sports special, and it was a couple of years back after they had just gone 5-11, 5-11, 5-11 for 3 straight seasons. I've got Jerry Jones live on Channel 8. I said, Jerry, considering what this football team has done over the last several years, it's now been 17 years with 1 playoff win. You've had 3 straight seasons of 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. You've had a revolving door for quarterbacks. You've had a revolving door for coaches. You've had draft pick after draft pick after draft pick who's not good enough to play in the NFL. You have spent millions of dollars that has been wasted on free agents who can no longer perform. If you bought this football team today, wouldn't the first thing you'd do would be to fire the general manager? Now, I said this to him live on Channel 8, and he looked at me, and he didn't even blink. Now, of course, he can't blink anymore. You know, Jerry also prides himself on being a great salesman. You know, the salesman I want to meet the salesman to convince him that's the look we were going for, Jerry. You know? You look good, Jerry. You look good. But he did fire me, and it has survived. I've managed to somehow managed to survive without it. As I told all of the captains sitting here at the table with me today, I have a story to share today with you. And I really don't care, as I told this young man. I understand that if most of you don't listen to this, I certainly accept the fact and am aware of the fact that most of you won't believe what I have to say. Because we used to have old fat guys come speak at my high school too, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't pay much attention. But I do hope that maybe 1 or 2 of you along the way might pick up something from this, because it means a great deal to me. Everything I am today and hope to be someday in my life is based upon the lessons I learned on a baseball field in Logan, Iowa when I was 4 years old. I love athletics. I love everything about athletics. Everything I am, everything I have done, everything I have managed to do, everything that I hope to do yet in my life was based on the very simple principles that I learned on a baseball field in Logan, Iowa, 61 years ago. I never went to college. I'm the only person in Dallas-Fort Worth television who's never been to college. I've got 9 people who work for me. They all have college degrees. They tell me what they think we should do, then I make the decision because I am their boss. I never went to college because I was a bit of a bum coming out of high school. But because I do compete every day with enthusiasm, because I figured out a long time ago that the greatness is determined not by what I achieve, but by what I help others achieve, by playing by the rules as best I can, and showing people an authority respect, you win. That's how you become the ultimate winner in games. That's how you become the ultimate winner in society. Because society really doesn't expect it. Society demands it as well. I wish I had understood some of this when I was your age. It took me a long time to figure this out, but I believe this in my soul. These are some of the most incredibly special days you will ever have in your life. I'm 65 years old now. And I can tell you the details of almost every game I played with my friends when I was your age. And here is the key. This is your only shot. This is a one-time deal. High school is a one-time deal. And it is the only deal in your entire life that you cannot fix. You cannot change. You cannot go back and do it again. You cannot make it better in the future. If you get out of high school and you decide to go to college and you don't like the college you've chosen, you can change it and go to another one. If you're like me and you don't go to college, you can go back to college at any time. You can go to college when you're 25, 45, even 95. If you find a job that you like and then you find out that you don't like that job, you can change it and get another one. You buy a car, you don't like the car, you can change it and get another one. You live in a city or a state, you don't like it, you can move to another one. Guys, if you get married and you don't like the woman you're married to, you can change it and get another one. I don't recommend it, it'll cost you a small fortune, but it can be done. And ladies, if you get married to a guy and he doesn't treat you the way you deserve to be, I would say change it and take him for every dollar he's good. You can change everything in your life. You can change every single decision you make. You can change every aspect of your life except high school. We give you one shot to go through high school. And if you don't take advantage of the opportunities, if you don't stop to enjoy the moments, if you don't relish the competition, if you don't find the friendships from teammates and competitors alike, we will never allow you to come back and do it again. And I promise you this, if you make the wrong decision, it will haunt you for a lifetime. It's an amazing life that you're about to begin. When I was 12 years old, I'm hesitating on a story because I promised my wife I wouldn't tell it, but I'll come back to it. I was 12 years old. All I wanted to be was 14. I wanted to get behind the wheel of a car so bad I couldn't stand it. Even though my mom and dad had to sit in the passenger seat with a learner's permit, I was okay with that because I wanted to drive a car so bad, that's all I thought about, it's all I dreamed about. And to go from 12 to 14 took something like 18 years to get there. And then I turned 14 and I started driving that car and my mom's sitting over there telling me to slow down. But I'm 14 years old and I'm driving. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can only be 16 so I can get my mom out of that car. If I can only be 16 so I can get my own driver's license and drive by myself, it'd be the greatest day of my life. And to go from 14 to 16 took me 14 and a half years. And then I was 16 years old and I thought to myself, if only I could be 18. If I could just turn 18 so that I could get out of high school and get on my way. But it took me another 11 and a half years to go from 16 to 18. And then I'm 18 years old, and I'm thinking to myself, if only I could be 21. If I could be 21, where I could be an adult, I could cast a vote, I could buy a beer, I could make adult decisions, I could do anything I want because I'm a free man in America. If only I could be 21. It'd be the greatest day of my life. But to go from 18 to 21, it took 17 more years. And then I finally turned 21. And some buddies and I went out, we had a couple of beers. We celebrated me becoming a man. I went home that night, I went to bed, I woke up the next morning, and I'm 65 years old. I went from 21 to 65 just like that. I was 21 2.5 weeks ago. And I'm 65. And I'm 65. And I still think about the mistakes I made in high school. I don't mean this as arrogant as it may sound, but I quit playing baseball my senior year because my dad was kind of hard. My dad didn't quite understand the winning and losing part of sports. He believed in winning, as I do. Oh, I believe in winning a great deal. But I accept losing. My old man never did. I was a catcher. I had tryouts with the Mets. I had 13 college offers to play baseball. And I quit my senior year. Because my old man used to sit behind home plate and scream at me no matter what. I went 4 for 4 one day, drove in 3 runs, threw out 2 guys trying to steal second base. We lost. My dad beat me up. I went 4 for 4. I drove in 3 runs. I threw out 2 guys. But my dad said I should have done more so that my team would have won, and he beat me up. So I quit. This is the story I promised my wife I wouldn't tell, and you'll see why in a moment. Carol Meyer came to my house. Carol Meyer was the greatest athlete I've ever known in my life. He was the single greatest athlete I've ever known in my life, and he was the slowest man who ever walked the planet Earth. If any of you play baseball at all, or you're familiar with baseball, Carol Meyer played third base, but he only played like 75 feet down the line because he was so slow that he knew everybody would bunt and he couldn't possibly get to it. So he came down the line and played about 75 feet down the line. I was a catcher, and on the rare occasion that somebody would crack that bat with a shot, my immediate thought was, I hope they hit that ball down the third base line because I knew it would not get past Carol Meyer. He had the greatest hands I have ever seen. He was unbelievable. He hit 497 his senior year, and the right fielder threw him out 11 times. He hit the ball so hard, and he ran so slow, that the right fielder threw him out 11 times. And he hit 497. The slowest running man I have ever seen in my life, but he had the hand-eye coordination of an absolute savant. Carol Meyer knocks on my bedroom window. I lived in a basement apartment at my parents' house, down in the basement. Carol Meyer looked at me and said, Dad, this is our last time to be together. I said, what do you mean it's the last time we're going to be together? I said, Carol, you're going to come back. You're probably going to take over your dad's gas station. I'm probably going to take over my dad's trucking company. We're probably going to coach Little League Baseball together someday. We're going to spend a lifetime together. Carol Meyer looked at me and said, Dad, you're going off to the Navy. I'm going off to the Army out of high school. Dale, once I get in the Army, they're going to send me to Vietnam. And Dale, if I can't outrun a base hit to right field, how the hell am I going to outrun a bullet in Southeast Asia? Carol Meyer went to the Army. 6 months. 6 months after he was in the Army, they sent him to Vietnam. And 6 weeks in that country, someone shot him right between the eyes. And Carol Meyer will be 18 years old forever. Carol Meyer, 18 years old, forever. I'm 65. There's not a week of my life. There is not a single week of my life that I don't think about Carol Meyer and quitting baseball my senior year. I have been to London, England twice with the Dallas Cowboys. I have been to Toronto, Canada. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Tokyo, Japan. I've been to 3 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys. I have been to the NBA championships with the Mavericks. I have been to the Stanley Cup finals with the Stars. I have been to the World Series with the Rangers. I have lived and partied and eaten and had a great time in almost every great city in the world and done it all on the company tab because it's my job. It's what I do. And I would give it all back. I would give it all back if I could go play baseball with Carol Meyer my senior year. It's the only thing in my life that I'm not allowed to change. As your coach pointed out, I've worked in Newton, Iowa, I've worked in Omaha, Nebraska, I've worked at Channel 4, I've worked at Channel 8. I've lived in Iowa, I've lived in Minnesota, I've lived in Texas. I've been a bill collector, I've been a food salesman, I've been a sportscaster. I've been married twice. I've lived in about 32 different homes. I've had about 47 different cars. Every decision I make, every day of my life, if I decide that it's the wrong decision or I want to change the decision, I'm allowed to do it. And no one will allow me to play baseball again my senior year with Carol because that was a one-shot deal. And Carol Meyer will be 18 years old forever. If you don't find the satisfaction now of competing, if you don't find the enjoyment in the competition, and forgive me, Coach, while I do believe in winning, I accept losing. The only way you fail, the only way you ultimately fail is if you don't compete with enthusiasm. You compete with enthusiasm every single moment of every single day. You dedicate yourself to making the people around you better. You will be amazed at how many individual honors and awards will come your way. If you dedicate yourself to the success of your team, whether it is through your individual accomplishments or by sacrificing for the betterment of the team, you will be stunned at how many honors will come your way. You play by the rules. You show people in authority respect. You win. You absolutely win. You win in the pool, you win in the classroom, and you will win in life. And I do pray to God, I do hope in my heart that you're never faced with carrying the burden of being 65 years old and regretting a decision you made when you were 17. Because it does not go away. It does not go away. I would give everything back to do it again. Because everything I have done, I can do again. Except that. You have a great opportunity today. Even though those of you who are seniors, you've still got several months to go. Those of you who are juniors and sophomores, if you haven't realized how special these days are, I hope you do now. And I do wish you all the very, very best. You've been a fantastic group, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you letting me share part of my day with you. Thank you very much.